Okay, so we are going to add our React. So go ahead and make sure you are in your front end folder or whatever you call that. So make sure you are cd into that, and we'll just do npm install, and this will be React Router DOM. So we'll install this React Router DOM. And we also want to change this by adding in more one more install, and this is going to be React Router Bootstrap. So this is going to be for that Bootstrap navigation bar. We are going to have to do this, and let's just do React Router dash Bootstrap, and let's go ahead and let that install. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and start implementing this. Okay, so my install is complete. So what I want to do now is create a few imports here. So we want to import from React Router DOM, and from here I want to import browser router. So browser router, and I want to import this as an alias. So I will just say router, and we'll also want to import route. So we will just say route, and what I need to do here is I want to use this route or this route to wrap my entire component. So I can actually get rid of this div. Remember, it changes down here too in my case, at least because I have that extension. So I wrap my entire component in a router now. And so instead of importing my components directly like this, what I can do now is I can actually uh, so set different routes, and I can actually replace this component now with a route instead. So but now that we have a route, I just have to give route a component to pass in. So we pass in home screen, not directly anymore, but we pass it in as a route. So whenever the URL matches whatever path I gave it here, in this case it is going to be just blank, and so it's just going to be the home page, then this component will render. Now in this case, because every stage starts with a forward slash, I need to add in exact, and now it knows to render the home screen only on this page. So let's try this. So if I go back here and I'm going to turn on my server, make sure this is on. We'll do npm start. Make sure it is on, and let's test this. So if I go to port 3000, this is that forward slash. So it is the first page. If I go to another page, the router doesn't know what component to render because we are not on this page. Now let's just say I change this to home, and if I save this and I am on home here, it doesn't know what to do. So if I change this to home right now, then it knows to render this page. If I hope that makes sense. This is just some URL routing, and we had to add in exact because we are starting with a forward slash. So let's create the product page so we can actually add that as another route here. So in our screen here, so we have home screen and we'll add our second page here. So we'll just say product screen.js, and in here let's just go ahead and create the functional uh, that functional component or whatever you decide here. And for now I'm just going to say product, so we'll just add in some uh, text. Then we need to add that into app.js, and we'll change this to product screen. So I will just copy that and we will paste that in. So product screen, and now we can use that route. So remember, we wrap everything in a router and we are just changing up the routes here. So we'll just say product and we want to change the actual component here. And for the product value here, we are just going to pass an ID that. So we are going to throw in a colon, and then this value is going to be dynamic, and I also want to get rid of exact. So this value needs to be dynamic. So we only need it exact for the home page because of the forward slash. And now if I go here and as I click on these, we are actually seeing that ID be passed in, and we now have the product of ID 2. So that product component. So we have nothing in there yet, but now that's being done correctly here. So one thing I do want to change up though is going to be how we are linking to the page. So if you notice here, as I click on this, the page is actually reloading. So it actually loading in a new page. So well, that's not how we do things with React. We want to actually load in a new component rather than loading in a new page. So if we go into the product component here, so not the product page but the product component in in here, I told you guys earlier that I would change this and rectify this. So we want to change this from a link to use the React router for this. So let's go ahead and import this. And this is going to be from React router DOM. So React router DOM, and we want to import link into here. So this is going to be the React link, and we are not going to use a real link here. So we are going to change this a tag. It's going to change it all around it. So both sides of that, and we are going to change ref to 2. So now when we click on this, it's going to load in a new component rather than loading a new page. And we also want to change this one and this href tag. So if we save this, and I don't know how well you will see it on the screen, but when you test it now, and when you click on this, we are not reloading the page. If you see that it doesn't load in a new, it doesn't start reloading that, it just loads in a new component and make things a lot faster. And that's how we react. If URL routing system. So we also want to do that for these links right here. If you look at these are also using that a tag. So they are actually loading in a new page, and for this we want to go into our navigation bar here. So we'll go into components, into header.js, and here we are just going to import from React Router Bootstrap. So that was that other import we did so from React Router Bootstrap, and we want to import a link container. So that was that other import we did. So we are going to use link container, and we'll start by going into this into pro software. We are going to use link container, and we'll this here you can see ProSoft. So basically where our logo is here, in remove this href, and I'm going to wrap this in link container. So we are going to throw that in. We'll get the closing tag, and we'll just put this just underneath this title. And from here we just want to set to, and this will just go directly back to the home page. So that's how we react if that link. Now we want to do the same thing for these links right here. So we want to get rid of that and RF. So let's first wrap it, and that's going to be around our cart. So link container, and this is just going to be two, and we can get rid of this RF, save that, and then I'm going to grab this again, and we'll put this around our login page. So we will close that, and this link container, make sure the indentation is right. So then we can copy login, paste that in right there, and get rid of href, and so we just get rid of the links. So we wrap everything in these link containers, and I will separate these. You can see the closing, the start, and close here. And we did that with our logo here, or our little title. So now if I click these, the same thing is happening. The URL is changing, but the actual page is uh, not reloading, and this is how single page application works. So in the next video, what we are going to do is actually make this home page, and we are going to style uh, it by rendering out the product component, different buttons, and so on. So like the product description, making sure that looks good.